Alright, so I'm getting ready for the Turkey Voyage 2020, and same thing, just like the maiden voyages, we're going to be camping in the back of the truck, and I get a ton of requests and messages on my setup and how I go about doing this. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through my setup here. Not going to go super in depth. Maybe in other videos I'll go more in depth about the specific things, and maybe another video on what kind of food I take with me and stuff like that. But as of right now, I'll just show you my basic setup here in my truck, how I camp in the back of my truck. So the first thing I do is Reflectix. You can get it at most hardware stores, and any of the big box hardware places have it. It's pretty inexpensive. And I basically use it for insulation and light. So when it's cool out, I bring this in. They're talking, 30s, maybe 20s, maybe a little bit of snow, some inclement weather. So I am going to bring this to be on the safe side, and always bring stuff. You're better off to overdo it than underdo it. Whenever you're going out and you're going to camp and you're going to be this self-contained unit, always try to overdo it instead of underdo it, because it's better to have too much than be out somewhere and not have any at all. So what I've got is just some random pieces here, and I lay it down along the bed here. And all this really does is it keeps me off the metal part of the bed, So and then what I'm going to do after this is lay the carpet down, and I've got different pieces cut out here, and they're going to go on the sides, on the side windows, and on the back. And I also have a great big sheet for the back when I'm all in there and hunkered down. I put that up. But I got this stuff laid in there. I'm going to set this down now, and then I'm just going to grab the carpet here quick, and I'll roll that out on top of this. Alright, so what I got here is I got 2 rolls of it, and they're just, again, random pieces that I've picked up. And what I like to do is I like to build it up the most where I'm going to be putting my feet a lot. So usually along this edge here is where I'll be doing all my cooking and things like that, and over here is my cot. And I want that area, the thickest and the highest me up off the bed of the pickup. So all I do is roll that one out, just like that. And then what this one is I got a thicker piece of carpet, and I cut it out to fit just perfectly in here. So we'll get this rolled out. It's you kind of got to play with it to see. There. Make sure it's not in your tailgate and messing with the function of your tailgate. So that's that. So now what I'll do is I take my Reflectix that I have cut for my sides, and I'll just start putting this stuff up. Alright, so you can see I got all the Reflectix set up. I don't put the back window in, or the sides, or the end. I don't put that stuff up until I'm hunkered down and in there. Sometimes I'll leave the sides and the back window up just to kind of capture more heat in really cold situations, but it's not going to be too crazy cold. And for driving, it's nice to have all that visibility. So the next thing I like to set up is my cot, and this is just a cheap, Walmart cot, whatever. I've had it for years and years. But the thing I like about this cot is there isn't a bunch of restriction on the side. I can fit a lot of stuff underneath it. Some of the cots have a lot of support and legs going down along it, which kind of limit what you can store under it. Because being up off the ground not only keeps you warm, but it also gives you a ton more storage. So if you see people camping in their truck and their bed is directly on the floor, like an air mattress or something, man, you're losing out on a ton of storage. So I'm going to get the cot set up and get the sleeping bag and all that on there, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Yeah. All right, so this piece of equipment right here, this thing is worth its weight in gold, man. It's a real dense foam mattress. I actually had my mom make this for me. It was for originally it was made for the back of a fish house bunk, so it acted like a sofa. Well, I kept it because it fits just absolutely perfect on my cot. And that thing, man, that is better than sleeping on my bed in the house. So that is huge. Getting a good, nice, comfortable rest at night so you're revived and rebooted in the morning is crucial for this kind of stuff. Another important piece of equipment is a good, comfortable sleeping bag. Good, warm sleeping bag. It'll save your butt. Anything you could do to be just a little whack more comfortable, you know, that just might be that one thing that makes you stay an extra day or another day. And that a lot of time on those days where you push yourself, those are the days where you make it happen. So another important thing too when you're doing this, I don't like to put my sleeping bag so it's touching any of the sides of the pickup. I don't have a super awesome water seal. If we get a bunch of rain, it seeps in and it leaks and around the floor will get wet, and it's just kind of what I'm working with. It's a 2009 pickup. It's been all over the place. It's got 185,000 miles on it. It's rusting out. The topper, I found that. I drove, you know, I don't know what it was. It ended up being like 4 hours away. I found it on Craigslist at some auto body place, and it's a beautiful topper, and I got it for $100. I mean, just watch a lot of this stuff, man. You can do a lot of this stuff. If people knew how little I do a lot of this stuff on, they just wouldn't believe it. There's a ton of things that are an arm's length that you don't think are, but they really are. So just be frugal with your budget, and man, you can come up with a pretty sweet setup and save yourself a lot of money and buy more tags and hunt some more. All right, I'm just going to go over a few of the things I've got here. This is my food. I keep it all in an enclosed, really low profile container. And again, I'll go over my food in a different video. But up on top, I've got a bin. I keep everything in bins. That's all my camping stuff, my stove, supplies, pots, pans, that kind of thing. And then I keep one tote like this, and it's kind of got a little bit of everything in it. Just essential stuff, field wipes, soap, a saw, baggies, you name it, some cordage in here, some silverware and things like that. So it's pretty important, because you never know the strange random things you're going to need, and also some duct tape and some things to fix stuff up. little redneck fix, duct tape. And then whenever I'm going archery hunting anywhere, it doesn't matter if it's turkeys, antelope, deer, bear, whatever, always bring a little target with you. Always, 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 in case something gets bumped, moved, broken, whatever. That way you have a means of shooting and confirming that you're golden. Because that's the last thing you want, is when you're hunting and you get that moment of truth and your stuff's off. So this is a huge piece of equipment. It's not a lot of the times are you going to use it all the time. I do recommend you shooting when you're on your trips, and it does take up room, but it's super crucial when you do need it. So always bring a target. I'm just going to kind of get the stuff situated in here. My camping stuff's going to go up in the front. It also doubles as like my little workstation countertop. My food, the target, this little supply bin is everything's going to go under the cot. So again, like I talked about before, being able to keep up off that and put all your items under there for storage is huge to save space, because it's all about saving space. So I'm going to get the stuff in here. Yeah. All right, here's another little whack of essential items. The cooler first. So the thing with coolers, what I do is, yeah, sorry about the background noise. It's a busy road, but anyways. So coolers, sometimes I don't bring a cooler. So when I'm doing longer trips, these trips are probably not going to be more than a week. So I don't necessarily bring a cooler, but this time I'm going to bring a cooler because if I do shoot a turkey, I'll be able to have something to keep it cool for the drive home, or if I stay in states that I have multiple tags, so I can keep the turkey, get it field dressed, get it in a cooler, get it cooled off for a few more days while I hunt, or for the transport. But also, what I'll do on these shorter trips is I don't normally bring anything that needs to be cooled. I don't bring meat, I don't bring vegetables, I don't bring that stuff. Everything I bring is either canned or dehydrated or pre-cooked stuff that does not need to be refrigerated. And not having to deal with ice constantly is huge. I can drink, you know, room temperature water. I've got little squirties for flavor to give you a little boost. But this trip, for turkey seasons, like I said, my trips aren't super long, so I will bring a cooler and put some ice in it, and I'll have the luxury of having some deer summer sausage, some ring bologna, you know, maybe some hot dogs and stuff like that. So I bring the small cooler, but sometimes what I do on my big trips in the fall is I will bring a cooler, but I use it as my food pantry and a countertop, because I beef this whole system up a little bit more for that. It's really super awesome for turkey hunting because I can go a little light. So, and then the heater, the little buddy heater, I am bringing that on this trip. It's supposed to get down again, like I said, into the 30s, maybe some 20s. It's nice. It's a morale boost to get warm. Again, I don't recommend running any type of heat when you're sleeping. To kind of warm up while you're eating and just kind of warm up and you're scrolling through on your phone and before you go to bed, always shut your heater off. But it's super nice to have that little whack of heat. It's just kind of, again, a morale booster. And here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Aside from the obvious use of this guy right here, it's called the Lugaloo. You can get them at big hardware stores and everything. So what I do is I put a bag in it, and again, aside from using it as an emergency toilet, which happens sometimes when you're on the road, but it has multiple functions. Most of the stuff that I bring has to have multiple purposes, or it doesn't make the cut. So when you're this confined to just having a little bit of stuff, you want everything to have multiple purposes. So you look at this and say, oh, it's a bucket toilet. It is, but it's also my garbage can. So what I do is I can throw all my garbage, all my food wrappers, everything in here. It's got a lid on it, it doesn't stink. And also what I do with this, and it's more so for my longer trips, is it also acts as a washing barrel. So I can take all the stuff out of the bag, and it's got a lid. And I can put my clothes in there, a little bit of water, saturate my clothes, put some soap in there, shake that bucket all up, wring it out, put some clean water in it, rinse it out, and then hang my clothes up. So it also acts as my washing cylinder. And also, if you do need just a container, you can take the bag out of it, and you've got a bucket. So there's multiple uses for this. And again, I'm just going to get this situated, and we're getting down there for pretty much the crucial stuff here. I think there might be a few other little small things I'll go over, but I'm going to get this stuff in here now and start getting her situated. Alright, just real quick, water. Water's a big one. Again, multi-uses. Water, your water supply is kind of crucial for like the longevity of your trips. Especially in the fall when it gets cold, and we'll talk more about that later when it gets closer to fall. But what I do, again, is store my water supply under my cot. But on shorter trips, I use bottled water for washing my clothes if I need to, cooking, and staying hydrated. If I'm on a longer trip, I got a 5-gallon water reservoir with the spigot end on it. But on these shorter trips, I won't need that. So bring, again, plenty of water. Bring more water than you think you're going to need, especially if you're using it for cooking, washing, and staying hydrated. Because when you're out stomping hills and you're hiking all over the place, man, staying hydrated is super important. And again, I talk about morale, keeping your morale up, and staying hydrated, not being thirsty all the time is super crucial. But I'm going to get this stuff slided in there, and I think we're just about done. All right, I think we're about done. All I really got to do is load up you know, my bag of clothes, the hunting gear, the decoys, and all that kind of stuff, which I'll go over in a different video. And my gear and my clothes and all that I can go over later as well. I just kind of wanted to focus on the basics of building my truck camp here. And that's really about it. And some of the stuff, my cameras and that stuff will go up in the front in the cab with me. And that I just feel a lot more safe with it up there. But that's really about it. Again, you'll see me in videos here coming up as I'm on the turkey voyage, of me actually living in the setup and different things like that. And I'll go over kind of how I got stuff situated a little bit better in later videos. But I plan on heading to Nebraska here probably tomorrow afternoon. Depending on the weather, we'll see how it goes. I've got a few tags for down there, and it's the archery season now. So we're going to bebop around. I'm going to probably have to put a lot of miles on the truck. We're going to do pretty much all public. And yeah, so if you guys keep watching these videos, because what I'm going to try to do is on Facebook, depending on how much service I have and where I have service, where I am and what's going on, I'm going to do a lot of updates on my Facebook page as these trips unfold. I'll try to do cell phone video, pictures and things like that, and updates as much as I can. And then once I get back, I'll edit, and then I'll start pumping out new videos. And I'm going to try to document this whole turkey tour as best I can. So yeah, if you guys would go to my Facebook page, Minnesota Outdoor Journal, like it. That way you'll get all the updates and all my new posts as these trips unfold. And then also go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to that, and then hit the notification button. That way you'll know when I post new videos. So other than that, we're going to kind of get everything piled in, probably go eat something and maybe shoot a little bit. And like I said, probably head out tomorrow. So see you on the road. So I'm so pumped for this. It's been a long winter, baby. Yeah.